Okay. Hi, my name is Ruth Compton, as everyone said. I am the detention center librarian and the adult services librarian. Adult services encompasses everyone from 18, adult outreach from 18 to when they are no longer with us. So that not only includes seniors, it includes like neurodivergent people, it includes homeless people, people that have just re-entered society from incarceration. And so I guess maybe the idea is for Arlington County, we're trying to make sure that the people who are more vulnerable, that we can provide support in any way we can from the Arlington Public Library, which is why it's not just generically anybody, but it's specifically maybe people who can't come in or who haven't, maybe are low income and so are working a lot and so don't know the resources we have available online. So I try to work with all those people, and we'll get into that more. And then the piece about the detention center, to me, that's another part of the outreach is who is more vulnerable than people that are being detained. What we do is we actually have a library branch here in the detention center. It is specifically designed, you won't find it on our website yet, but we specifically have the collection here to meet the needs of the people here. There are both men and women here. So the collection the idea is the collection meets their recreational needs, their spiritual need, their educational need, and their legal needs. We also, my colleague, there's two of us that work here. My colleague has a legal background, so she can help people with LexisNexis searches on the computers. And basically the idea is, how can we support the people here so that when they go back out into society, that maybe their life has taken a different step. Maybe we had a speaker in last week who was last month, who was formerly incarcerated and is now an author, who can talk about their experiences of incarceration and going out and being a better person. To the question that just popped up, yes, we do have Spanish materials. I'm trying to increase that level, that percentage of the books, because we have a number of Spanish speakers. Interesting enough, we also have like a little Vietnamese collection and a little Korean collection, and we have two people currently here who are reading Vietnamese books we don't have enough shelf space, so they're just in a box that I bring out and say, because I can't read what they say. They're not cataloged, but somebody has provided Korean and Vietnamese books as well for the people that are here. And yes, we have a Spanish language section. We redid, let's say the sheriff's office redid the library so it looks more pleasant. And then my specific duty has been to curate a collection to fill their needs and that looks more like them. So there's more authors of color. We're expanding our Spanish section. We are basically doing whatever we can, whether it's to provide, like I said, a recreation, like get away from where they're located right now, or learning issues. Just a quick anecdote, someone is trying to take courses from Nova. And so they were like, do we have a Nova catalog? And we don't. And I'm emailing Nova and they don't print catalogs anymore. And so they sent me a PDF. So it's like getting the PDF, getting it printed, and then comb bound, because there's limited binding that we can use here, because it can't be something that could be used as a weapon. But so like making sure that we had the Nova calendar, and that's part of what we do. Again, outreach to the vulnerable people. Go ahead, Gary.
Oh, I was going to say, there's a question here. Are there books on tape in different languages that might be helpful for people with limited reading skills?
Well, I'm supposed to have this presentation, but I'm just going to jump into it right now, not looking. One of the things that Arlington Public Library has is talking books services, and that's done through the National Library Service. Anyone who has trouble reading, so a visual impairment or even like a physical impairment where they cannot or can no longer hold a book, can get talking books specifically from the National Library Service. And we do have, because we're part of Arlington County, we do have some library books on tape for the talking books section. We do not have any other languages right now, but I do know that you can get talking books in Spanish as well. But yes, if somebody is visually or physically impaired, unable to read a book, we can get them a talking book the same way anybody else in Arlington County can get a talking book through the Arlington Library. So we do provide that at the detention center. But so if there's, I'm now going to jump to the next piece. And start my presentation, even though I've talked about some of it already. So if that is okay with everybody, we will go ahead and go there. Oops. And I will share my screen. Okay, and let me start the presentation.
Yep, we can see it.
Right, there's a whole bunch of stuff up the top, and so it's not allowing me to, hold on a second. I'm gonna make it smaller. There we go. Okay, so the presentation, besides talking about what we do at the library here in the detention center, is specifically about what we do to support patrons who are trying to age in place. We're going to go through a bunch of different options, what we currently have, new additions, what we'd like to do, what we hope to see in the future. And at the end, I have ideas, but I may be missing whole areas that I haven't thought about. And so if there's something specifically that you all have said, I wish the library did X, I'm the person to let know because I can go about seeing if we can do X. So I just, that is specifically in there. So for the people that aren't homebound, as you know, for the bigger library locations, we do have our shelves spread out so they're wheelchair, our shelves are wheelchair accessible. We have magnifying options on all of our public computers as well as our catalog computers, and then heights of tables can be fixed. Of course, both Cherrydale and Glen Carlin that are older libraries do not allow that kind of accessibility. So services for homebound patrons that we have currently already set up. One is books by mail. You probably have heard of this. So I'm just going to repeat. If you are talking to somebody or driving somebody on an errand or visiting somebody and they don't know about this, this is something for them. That it's a free service that the Arlington Public Library provides. They do have to sign up for it. But what they do is they can call and say, can you please send me, the latest James Patterson? And it gets sent to them in a special pouch. It is postage paid. When they're done, they can return it postage paid. You can ask anything, fiction, nonfiction, large type books, audiobooks on CDs, basically anything the library has to offer. Let me modify that. We are we are not sending out like the games and dolls and other pieces like that. Those don't come out. So let's say it's reading material that we provide. The application is on Arlington Public Library website, or you can call, the phone numbers here that you can call. If you all decide that there are a number of people who are interested, I can always print out a number of applications as well as some of our other service information to provide for you to share with everybody. So And then here we are to the talking book service that I was just talking about. There is a picture shows a specific recorder and you plug in the tape. They're like cassettes, but except for they have like a USB plug at the end. So it's not like it is the size of an old cassette tape, but you plug it in like a USB. We are working with this organization. It's called BARD, and I apologize because what it stands for slips my mind. But the idea is that they're hoping to get an app. So if somebody has a tablet or device that is app-based, they can also use that for the talking book services. One of the interesting things about the talking book service that we have tried to do is, if somebody is homebound but wants to be a part of the book club, this is one way they can listen to the book and be a part of the book club. Or Gary was telling me that you all have a book club where you mostly come in and share what you've read or what you think other people should read. This is a way for somebody who is visually or physically impaired to read books, read newspapers, magazines, and feel a part of that conversation and contribute, as well as join a book club if you can. So that's one of the things that we hope to do. We try to get, we did an audio book club for a while, but we didn't have enough. The Arlington Public Library is a way to reach out to people that were homebound that like to listen to books, but we only ever got a couple of people, so that didn't quite work. But anyway, both talking books and books by mail are a service we already have. We have applications and I can get them out to you if it's easier than asking someone to figure out how to get it online.
We've got a question here. Somebody is asking who's in charge of the Talking Books program right now. They're having some unresolved issues and
okay, so Talking Books has changed hands. It went from Bridget Wisdom to Emily and Alex Zealand, it might be able to chat. What kind of problems were they having? Go ahead and unmute yourself, whoever has the question. Hello? Okay, so I'll just say,
I'm sorry. I was the one. I apologize. It is a great program, but for 3 months, my mom has not been getting her magazines, and I just can't get any resolution. Nobody seems to take charge. The emails are answered, days, maybe weeks after they're sent.
oh my gosh, I'm so sorry about that. Hold on a second. I'm going to escape and go back because that's who I am. Have you, hold on, come on. Yeah. Have you called this phone number here down at the bottom, the 703-228-5962?
I have not, and I can. I thought email would be easier because then you can just kind of resend email and say, I first talked about this back in August. It's literally been
Since
3 months.
August. Oh my gosh. Okay. So
it's a great service. I don't want to put you on the spot. I
no,
just
no, no,
wonder
no,
if there's
no, no,
a
no.
key
And
person I should go to.
no, because so I am an intermediary person, but I can certainly 100% facilitate that. So I'm going to give you my email.
Okay, thank you very much.
And then we can go from there because it's not helpful if we can't resolve problems. Just really quick, it's at the end, but I'll tell you right now, it's rcompton, COMPTON at arlingtonva.us. So, but it will also be at the end. But yes, I can help facilitate this. It has gone through a change of people recently. So I just want to apologize, but hopefully we can get this more going. I personally am having a training next week so I can know more about it because I often go out to people and people ask me questions. And this way, if there's something that I can resolve in person or, on a Zoom call. So next week I should be more informed, but in the interim, we'll go ahead and take care of that. Is there anything else I can do for you, Rosamunda?
No, thank you, and I apologize for interrupting. I think it's a fantastic program, and I know with the changes, it would be a shame if the people who receive these talking books suffer from the change because it's kind of their livelihood.
Right, absolutely. And so whatever I can do to help facilitate that and to resolve what's going on, because I mean, for people who've been reading and all their life and to be in a place where they're depending on another service for them, we don't want to have any problems in that interaction. So we will go
Thank
from
you very
there.
much. Thank you very
Okay,
much.
you're welcome. So some of the things, if you are not visually impaired, but still at home, or even for those of you, of course, who are not at home, there's a whole plethora of digital resources that the library has to offer. We have research tools, we have educational tools. They're all available online, and all you need is a computer or electronic device, your library card, and a password. If somebody doesn't have a device but could come into the library, of course, has public computers. So there's all sorts of ways to do this. Computers, devices, a phone, if you have it, depending on your digital savvy of this, as you know. But if somebody is at home and they're in, and I would like to personally go to everybody's home, but I am only one person right now. So I cannot do that. But if one of you are helping somebody and they say, oh, I really wish I had, access to encyclopedia, you could say, oh, I know how to do that for you. So you can show them how to do that. But anyway, so these are a bunch of just a few resources I pulled out that you all have. It may be that at some point, maybe I figure out a way to do a Zoom class for the people at home who want to learn how to do this, so that it doesn't have to be one-on-one. I mean, that's something I can do. So besides learning about how Talking Books works, I can always lead people of how to go through getting information, research tools, and educational tools that are available. And of course, Libby is available, and both the digital resources as well as Libby are open 24/7. They're all free. Digital, and of course, part of our 24/7 digital resources for anybody will depend on if somebody feels comfortable using technology. Libby, I think, is a great resource because it's ebooks, e-audiobooks, digital magazines. While it is not the same as holding a book, but if you are doing a talking book, but you maybe want something additional and can manage Libby, it provides so many audiobooks. It provides, if you can read, but you need bigger font, more than large type books, one of the things that Libby does is allows you to change the font style, the font size, the lighting, the spacing between lines, all of those things, which may allow certain people to read easier. And no, it's not the same as a book. It isn't, but hopefully for some people, the Libby app will help fill their need to read or listen to a book or a magazine. So this is also something that's available for people at home.
Does Libby replace Overdrive?
Okay, so Overdrive is the main company name. And so what they did is people who know Overdrive originally, Overdrive had their own app. The Libby is, they've created Libby as a new friendlier version of the Overdrive app, so Libby is by Overdrive. And I'm going to do this really quick. If you don't have an app-based device, you can access the information the same way if you have a computer of some sort, and you could read whatever is on your lone shelf or listen to whatever is on your shelf.
Could you just stop a minute there, Ruth? What is an app-based device?
A phone is an app-based device. A tablet is an app-based device, in that you click on the fun little icons to do what you need to do. Laptops desktops are typically not don't have apps. You type in, well, you may have Word loaded on it, but you go to a browser to get your information, a web browser, like Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, Internet Explorer / Edge. If you are on an Apple product, you have Safari as your browser. So that may be something that people are more comfortable with because maybe they've been using computers. And on any of those, you can use you can use Access Libby. So if you are a phone-based person, you can access Libby through there. Or if you're on a computer and you want to read, or let's say you have a computer and you want to listen to something while you're doing the dishes, you can do it through this website that's on this screen here. That will be part of what I hand off to Gary, so you have access to it. Again, you just need your library card, and you can give that, go from there. One patron that I have, or that I did have when I worked at Cherrydale, she listens to books while she's gardening outside. So somebody else listens to books while they fall asleep. You can put a timer on it, so it only goes so far. So if you have fallen asleep, you know where you went and what you missed and can go back. So
I need to know, can you use Libby with Alexa? So sign in through Alexa and it becomes your app-based device?
is Alexa the Amazon one?
Yeah.
Yeah, Amazon. No. The same way that if you have an Amazon device, a tablet or a Kindle, they don't have a Libby app there. You need to do it through the web browser. I can't remember what it's called. Opera? Symphony?
Yeah. Pat said Kindle uses a Silk browser.
Silk, that's it, Silk. So wouldn't that be lovely? The problem is Amazon wants to make their own money. So they do allow, if you have a Libby app, you can ask for the format to be a Kindle format, so you can send it to your Kindle. So you can do that, but Amazon does not allow the Alexa piece or the Libby app on any of their devices. So there's always that problem. In fact, like even a Kindle won't let you listen. Most of the Kindles won't let you listen. I mean, you can have it read your book, but it won't let you access the audiobook if you just have a straight Kindle to read. So there's all these little nuances in the sense that the libraries throughout the country are using Libby, but there's still restrictions. Not everyone, not all digital people will allow their licenses to be bought by Overdrive. If Amazon has produced a really good digital audiobook, they will not put that audiobook on Libby. They'll still require you to go through Audible to pay for it. So it is limited. The extent that it's limited is by the people that own the rights to the books and the audiobooks. So, any other Libby questions?
I think that's it.
Okay, so sorry about the Alexa idea. That would be good, wouldn't it? Anyway, okay. I'm like, maybe the Google one would do it. I don't know. Okay. So the next thing is a couple of things that we do for people that are not able to come into the library. One is a program I like called Bringing the Library to Seniors, where Jackie, who, if she's still on, and I bring large type books to senior living centers we currently only bring them to Culpeper Garden and Sunrise Bluemont. But the idea is we get, you know, a couple of dozen, wait, no, more close to 40 or 50 books. And we take them over to these places, and then the residents check them out, not really check them out, but we just write their names down. And then next month we come back and pick up their old ones and bring new ones. Culpeper has a really great group of people that check out 50 plus books all the time. Sunrise is smaller. It had more prior to the pandemic, but it's less now. One of the things I don't know about, but I've thought about, is how for people, you know, Gary was telling me about, because you can run an errand, someone can go pick up a library book that's on hold if you can't get that. And I think that's wonderful. But is there another need where we do something like bring, you know, once a month to the church that the office is located, or someplace else, books that then, you know, I can bring books in and then people can then distribute them to other people who can't get in. I don't know. I don't know if that's something that would make a difference or that you want. I mean, really, Arlington Neighborhood Village is very comprehensive. And so, I mean, that's wonderful in that, all those pieces. One of the things I also provide is I do different library card events, so that at places where people, like at Culpeper Garden, other locations, so that if somebody didn't have a library card but was homebound, we could make sure that they could get one and then use the resources through that. You know, there may be a way to do some kind of an event for that. And I'm always available to provide technical support for library accounts and Libby and other things. Sunrise Bluemont, somebody there is not on Talking Books, but they do have Libby. And so every month when I'm there, they ask me to download some more audiobooks for them. So I don't know if it's because she doesn't understand or doesn't have the best eyesight that she's trying to work with, but I, you know, want to be a resource if anybody needs something. So there is that. Two recent additions that we have for people that are starting to have memory issues, Alzheimer's or other related dementias, is the Central Library has been doing memory cafes. I do not know if you all are aware of that. The idea would be to come in, and the memory cafes, they provide all sorts of stimulation and socializing, engaging activities to do different things. Usually the people come in with somebody, either a friend or a caregiver, because the people that are responsible for this are not equipped to handle, you know, 20 people that have dementia issues. Next week, I am starting a Tales in Travel, and the first location will be Culpeper Garden. And the idea is, again, to go to where people are, to the Culpeper Garden Assisted Care Place. And the idea is using a globe and folk tales and country books and other things to travel to a new country or learn about a new country. And the studies have shown that reading is still so important to people with Alzheimer's. They can still read and engage. And so this is specifically where other people will read the folk tales and the country information, and there'll be objects. And hopefully people will have their own experiences in different countries, or if not, they can talk about what they know about it. The first place we're going to is Nepal, because even if people haven't been to Nepal, they probably have heard about Mount Everest and different things like that. The idea, again, is an hour to engage people in a learning, exciting experience, a place for people to share stories, as well as also practice reading. And while the first one's going to be at an assisted care center, I'm hoping to take it out on the road. If there is a place, I mean, we can do it at Central as well, like the memory cafes. if there are people, I don't know if people ever gather who are in need of some care, memory care in Arlington Neighborhood Village, but I can bring it to a small group. If people, a coffee or tea thing, if it ever ends up being back in person, I can do something like that. The Tales and Travel has come from Illinois, and they have gotten several awards for how engaging and how happy it has made people to participate in this. Culpeper Gardens is a little extra excited. They're hoping to get their chef even to make some Nepali food. So as a way to engage in, there. I have been to Nepal, so like I have, like a tanka and some prayer flags and different things like that that can also be looked at and passed around to help enhance the experience of Tales and Travel. So those are our two recent additions. And again, the Tales and Travel is just starting next week, but if you all think of anyone who's interested or an opportunity, I'm more than happy to take it wherever you all are. Let's see. And then, so the ideas that I have, which we've already talked about, is bringing library to seniors in other locations, sending out information about library cards, book by mail, talking book services, or having a sign-up event that I can go to if somebody hasn't done that. Would it be good, I don't know, like once I'm trained more about the talking books, to have an event that I can talk more about that, to help people through the planning of that, or learning how to do use the different resources. Sometimes people were, one woman I encountered for talking books had always had somebody else plug in the cassette, and she didn't know how to do it herself. And our people at Central Library are not going out for that kind of work, but that's something that I can help with. And maybe, again, I can't go to everybody's house, but maybe there's 5 people that go to somebody who are using talking books. I can help show the 5 people about how to do whatever is necessary to do in order to help someone listen to the books. Anyway, for the memory cafe programs, do you ever get people in a van and take them to Central if we can't bring the memory cafe over to some other location? And then there's our travel and Tales and Travel program that I'm hoping to get out not only to other locations, library locations, but hopefully to other non-library locations as well. So we don't have a ton of resources. We have some resources, and hopefully they can help support anybody who's wanting to age in place. And I am here to help implement whatever you all think that you need or want and are interested in. And so now is a good time to open it up to you all. And is there anything that you all have been thinking about that you would like to see the library do and help you with?
Yeah, and Ruth, just so you know, we are at about 10 minutes to 11. So
Okay, so this is perfect because my presentation is good. We're done.
Yep.
There's a little thank you slide next, which has all my information as well as the Libby app. And then I'm here absolutely for questions. So I'm going to stop sharing.
Okay.
Let me see.
Well, I think that's perfect timing, Ruth, and I've been taking notes. Maybe others have. One thing, maybe we could sign you up for a library card event that you could come to our holiday party.
Yep.
On December 16th. Is that
Okay.
right, everybody? Have I got the right date there for our
Hold on a second.
That would be fun to have Ruth there.
I would love to be there. And as always, whenever I show up, what time on December 16th?
I don't have that.
Okay.
Who's got the right time? I've got it at 9 a.m., which I know is not right. On Friday, December 16th, our holiday party is A lot of fun, informal in the lower level of St. Andrew's Church on Military and Lorckham Lane.
Oh, right by Cherrydale. Yes,
And so put it on your calendar and maybe we'll do a library card event. And also you could showcase some of these other great services.
whenever I do a library card event, I showcase other services. I'm always there to answer questions. That's always when I get my fun questions, like, can you help me figure out how to plug in my cassette for my talking library? So, I'm always there for beyond just library cards, but yes, and I can showcase all those services as well.
I just kind of stuck my neck out here, but I will clear that with Wendy Zanker and Beverly
Okay.
Cannizzaro,
Okay,
our event, the
Okay.
people really in charge, okay?
okay, that's fine.
The question here, what is the magnifying software you talked about at the beginning? Is that only available on computers in the libraries?
Yes, yes. And what it is like a app, and it shows up as a little magnifying glass on the screen. And if you click on the magnifying glass in the library computers, it will magnify what's going on. We should probably, there's probably an option available if on computers as well. Since, you know, they're on the computers at the library, we should be able to find one that's available that can be used on your home computer. But yes, it magnifies everything on the screen. So.
And next question is, when will the Bozeman branch open? Anything
Okay,
about
so the
that?
courthouse is just across the parking lot, or the detention center is just across the parking lot from the Bozeman branch, which has been changed. We're now going to call it the courthouse branch since it's in the courthouse. And the original hope was November of 2022, and we are here and has not happened. So now they're talking January of 2023, but I really don't know. So.
Okay, a shout out here from somebody to Alexandra Schultz, said they were very helpful in teaching her how to access the foundation directory online. That directory is very expensive, but you can access it for free at the library. So if you're looking for charitable grants and
right, there has been a recent modification on that. I believe that at some point we will not be able to access the foundation anymore, the foundation organization. But I would have to double check that. There had been an email, and we don't really use that here at the detention center because they're not allowed access to computers that access the internet. So I would have to check on that, but I do know that it is changing. But Alexandra is good, yes. So
somebody wants to know, does the library still lend rakes, shovels, and the infrared camera? And if somebody wants to use the camera, do you show them how it works?
I do not know how the infrared camera works, but if you checked one out and brought it to an event, I could try to help you through that. They do have instructions. So the garden shed is open, but closing soon. As they do, they close every winter. They're really basically a spring to fall tool shed checking out, borrowing. So yes, we still do that, but it will be closing soon. And yes, we do still have infrared cameras. We have hot spots if you find that you're in a place where you're going to need extra internet connection, or a place that you're not going to be. So we have that. We also, and the infrared stuff, we have both Apple and Android options for those as well. Any other questions?
So the hotspots are something you would check out for a limited period of time?
You check out a hotspot for a week.
Okay.
Good to know. Well, Ruth, this has been unbelievably useful information. I know that pretty much everybody on this call, and you've got your target demographic of the people who use your services right here. And we love the library. Many of us are big supporters of the library and all of its activities. You are a very young person, I think, working in a field that is constantly
I
changing.
I turned 60 years old.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
so
Well-
a hotspot, so I'm not so young, but just really quick, a hotspot is a small little device that connects to local Wi-Fi that gives you Wi-Fi specific if you don't have it in your home or if you're in a location that won't have it. Sorry, Anita, that question popped up, so.
I saw that, and you know, that's our technology guru there, Dolores Boyer. Edwina says she loves the library. We all love the library. What else is in our chat? You've given us a very inspirational topic today, and we hope to see you at the holiday party in December.
That sounds wonderful. And really, I am here for whatever anyone needs. I mean, I may not be able to take you to the moon, but if there's a way I can meet a need for what you all desire, I am here for you. So
Thank you,
thank you
Ruth.
so much for having me. I appreciate it.